If you ever see a little girl in a red raincoat standing alone in the rain, do not stop your car, do not roll down your window, and whatever you do not say hello back to her, because she has been waiting there for over 40 years, and she is still waiting for someone to say yes. My name doesn't matter, but what happened to me on Route 9 on a rainy October night still keeps me awake, and I need to tell someone before I lose my mind completely. It started as an ordinary drive home from my late shift at the hospital. The road was empty. The wipers were struggling to keep up with the storm, and the radio kept cutting in and out with static, like something was trying to break through the signal. That's when I saw her, standing at the edge of the road, right where the old bridge used to be before they tore it down. A little girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old, wearing a bright red raincoat that seemed to glow against the darkness. Her hood pulled up, her small hands hanging by her sides. She wasn't holding an umbrella. She wasn't running for shelter. She was just standing there, perfectly still, staring at the passing cars like she was waiting for one of them to stop. Every instinct in me screamed to keep driving, but the mother in me, the nurse in me, couldn't just leave a child alone in a storm like that. So I slowed down. I pulled over. I rolled down my window just an inch, enough to call out to her. "Sweetheart, are you lost? Do you need help getting home?" She didn't answer right away. She just turned her head, slowly, unnaturally slowly, like her neck was made of something that didn't bend the way ours does. And when she finally looked at me, I felt every hair on my arm stand up, because her eyes weren't the eyes of a child. They were pale, almost colorless, like the rain had washed everything human out of them. She smiled, and she said, in a voice that sounded like it was coming from underwater, "Can you take me home? It's just up the road." Something in my gut told me to drive away right then, but I told myself I was being paranoid, that this was just a scared, cold little girl who needed a warm car and a safe ride. So I unlocked the door and let her in. The moment she sat down in the back seat, the temperature in the car dropped so fast that my breath turned to fog in front of my face. She didn't shiver. She didn't complain about the cold. She just sat there, dripping wet, staring at the back of my headrest. And when I looked in the rearview mirror, I noticed something that made my stomach twist. She wasn't leaving a puddle on the seat. Not a single drop of water had touched the leather, even though her raincoat was soaked through. I asked her where she lived, and she said, "Just past the old church on Miller Lane." So I drove, following her directions, turn after turn, deeper into a part of town I barely recognized anymore, past boarded-up houses and dead streetlights, until the road narrowed into something that barely counted as a street at all. The rain got heavier, the radio static got louder, and every few seconds I would glance in the mirror just to make sure she was still there. And every time, she was staring straight back at me, unblinking, that same small smile frozen on her face. Finally, she pointed to an old, crumbling house set far back from the road, its windows dark, its porch collapsing in on itself, vines crawling up the walls like they were trying to pull the whole structure into the earth. "This is my house," she said, and before I could even ask if she was sure, she was already gone from the back seat. Not opened the door and stepped out, not vanished in a blink, but simply gone, like she had never been there at all, except for the wet handprint she left on the window. 5 small fingers pressed against the glass from the inside. I sat there frozen, my heart slamming against my ribs, telling myself there had to be a logical explanation, that maybe I had blacked out for a second, Maybe I was more exhausted than I realized after 12 hours at the hospital. But then I saw movement at the window of that broken down house. A shape, pale and small, standing just behind the glass, watching me. I didn't wait to find out what it wanted. I threw the car into reverse and got out of there as fast as the storm would let me. And I didn't stop shaking until I was 3 towns away, sitting in a gas station parking lot with all the doors locked. The next morning, still rattled. I couldn't stop thinking about her, so I did something I probably shouldn't have. I went to the local library and started digging through old newspaper archives, searching for anything about a little girl and a red raincoat. What I found made my blood run cold. In 1983, a 7-year-old girl named Lily Hartman disappeared on that very road on a stormy October night, wearing her favorite red raincoat, the one her mother had bought her just weeks before. She had been walking home from a friend's house when a driver claimed to have seen her standing by the road, but no one stopped to help her. Everyone was too afraid, too suspicious, too unwilling to open their car door to a stranger, even a child, on a night when a series of disappearances had already put the whole town on edge. Her body was never found, but 3 days later, her red raincoat washed up along the creek near Miller Lane, torn and muddy, with small handprints pressed into the fabric from the inside, as though something had been trying to claw its way out. The article said, witnesses reported seeing a girl in a red raincoat standing by the road for years afterward, always on rainy nights, always asking the same question. Can you take me home? And every single person who said yes to her disappeared without a trace. Their cars found abandoned on the side of the road, engines still running, headlights still on, as if they had simply stepped out and walked into the storm. I felt sick reading it, because I realized how close I had come, how one wrong turn, one extra minute in that house, could have ended with my name added to that list. But the article ended with something even worse. A detail that made me drop the newspaper on the library table with shaking hands. Witnesses said the girl in the red raincoat never let anyone leave once they got out of the car. But if you drove her all the way to her destination without stepping outside yourself, without ever opening your door, she would let you go, and instead she would simply move on to find someone else. Someone who might not be so careful. Someone who might not make it back home. That night, I couldn't sleep, and around 2 in the morning, my phone buzzed with a text message from an unknown number. And it said just 4 words. Thank you for the ride. I called the number back immediately, my hands trembling, but it rang and rang until an automated voice told me the number was no longer in service, that it had never been assigned to anyone at all. I moved out of that town 2 months later, and I haven't driven on a rainy road at night since. Not once. Not ever. Because now I know the truth. She isn't looking for a way home. She never was. She's looking for someone to take her place. Someone kind enough to stop. Someone caring enough to open that door. And the only reason I'm still here to tell you this story is because I never got out of my car. So if you're ever driving alone on a stormy night and you see a little girl standing by the road in a bright red raincoat, remember what I'm telling you right now. Keep your doors locked, keep your windows up, and whatever you do, do not stop the car, because somewhere out there, on some forgotten road, she is still standing in the rain, still smiling, still waiting for someone to say yes. If this story gave you chills, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more terrifying tales.